Oh, I've already won. I'm actually pressing record on my 2023 themes goals video, which is my overall meta thing of what am I going to do this year? What is the general guiding themes that I have to try and guide my things I want to get better at, things I maybe want to decrease, like what's the overall look of my year coming up? Um, you know, Mice and men, uh, all of their plans often gang awry. But as much as you can be in control of your destiny, as much as you can kind of guide your own decisions and your own fate, I'm giving a shot at that. I mean, what happens is you make plans and then you alter them immediately because of circumstances, and that is always the proviso. But that said, taking inspiration from, I listened to a podcast called Cortext, hosted by CPG Gray and Mike, who's, I don't know what his last name or his whatever name is, but they came up with the idea of not just like your goals for the year. They're not about New Year's resolutions and shit like that, but just the general idea of like, what are your themes? What's a theme of, like, take a look at your year previous or your life previous, and think about like, what is the stuff that you really want to improve? What is the stuff that is really not worked? And use that to come up with kind of a general overview of like, what would you like to do? What would you like to do? And use kind of the overall plan to then to kind of organize more specific day by day goals. So what I use at the moment is I use keep notes. I have a to do list for each day of the week, which I try and constantly update. And I find that's very effective of getting things done. I say, oh, I want to do this, 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 and this, and I might not get everything done on that to do list for a day, but if I didn't have the to do list, I would probably have gotten zero done, or maybe one. But I find it's a really good focus when I actually use it. I bob in and out of actually using it because I have ups and downs in my life. All right, this is going on too long. What are my themes that I've decided to come up with? I decided I'd just come up with two themes because I think if you get into more, it gets very diffuse, and then really the themes themselves are very broad and are very, they're gonna encompass a lot of various different things that I want to do for the year. So the first theme is deepening, and the second theme is perspective. And they're actually a good yin and yang, because deepening is very much self-deepening, self-improvement, places that I can improve my life. Divvying them up, physical deepening. That's continuing to help strengthen my back, walking, biking, perhaps swimming with Ja. Um, and doing stuff like that. Keeping an eye on my, actually I don't have that there, but blood pressure. I am a guy in his 50s, and my blood pressure is kind of high, and that is something that I need to address and think about what I can do to kind of to get that lower. I do not have health care, not health. I do have health care. I just don't have a physician that I can particularly talk to about this stuff. So coming up with a game plan, and sometimes, a lot of times, the physician's advice, while super logical, that isn't very effective. But yes, high blood pressure. That is a actual existential thing that I need to think about. That if I don't address, it could cut short a lot of my other goals on this list. So yes, physical, and that's all the exercise. High blood pressure, which is going to mean diet as well, of like how much salt I take in or other things. I probably need to do research into high blood pressure and what that probably means for a dude like me. And it probably means I'm taking in too much salt in my diet. So that is number one. Uh, Also deepening, definitely, it's my relationship with Ja. And that's just trying to kind of maintain that connection. We've been married for easily a number of years. I won't embarrass myself by getting the number wrong, but it's been a good bit. We celebrated a milestone, which I of course can't even remember at this point. But we've been married a good while. We've had ups and downs in our things, but in our marriage, but talking, just taking the time to talk and check in with each other is a big thing, especially when we're going through tough things in our lives. That I think it's really valuable for both of us, for our mental health, for our physical health, to really make sure we take those things. For me, I can see on a day-to-day level that is like in the morning is talking with her and doing it without. I have a bad habit of putting in my earbuds and then leaving them in even when I'm talking to her, and that doesn't send a great message about communication. Um, Walking with her when she's willing. She's got her own kind of physical stuff that she wants to do, and I really want to be a part of that. I have to also dial back my enthusiasm and just sort of meet her at whatever level she is at the moment for that sort of thing. And also the weekends is to try and find activities to do with Ja on the weekend. Actual kind of like, we go out and we do something. That I think would be a really good thing, really good thing for us. I think she'd be quite happy to do that. So that's definitely, we have a good relationship, but we could definitely, there's always room for improvement, and there's always chinks that, like, I'm not always the one who's aware of when there's problems. And actually getting to talk to her and be with her, which is what I love doing. I married this woman and I love being with her after all these years. Is like, I want to continue doing that, and I want to do it more, because that if you talk about the things in your life like, oh, I really like this, why don't I do it more? One of the top things there would be, why don't I spend more time, quality time, doing stuff with Ja? That's got to be the top of the list there. And we go into I'm gonna do like all my hobby stuff next, which is YouTube is to do. I've just got a goal of making 2 public videos a month on kind of focus topics, whatever interests me, but also hopefully using my hopefully improved vocal skills. That goes into number 4, which is vocal skills, presentation skills improvement. It's just like, I want to continue with that. I want to get better at that. I think finding more focused topics that I want to talk about for making kind of more formal videos, creating more focused and more engaging videos, and saying, like, you know what, I don't need to be doing a bunch. I want to make quality that way, while at the same time continuing on this channel, making videos every single day and yakking, because I just need to do that. That gives me that kind of an outlet. But there's also kind of the crafting thing, which I'm going to have to work on this, because there's another thing that came up when on New Year's Eve, when I was talking about themes. Oh, that's where the other themes video was, wow, I really miss the days where I can just kind of press record and record a video and then publish it. So maybe there's going to be a balance there. I'm saying, like, I want to make 2 perfectly crafted, great videos, which is, I'm setting myself up for disaster there. I want to make improved videos on shorter subjects. That is a far more attainable goal than a perfected 5-minute genius essay. It's like, that's not going to happen. I am going to want to try and improve what level I'm at now. I want to improve it, and I want to make it on short. I want to make it on focused topics, not just talking about an entire book. It might be, I'm talking about variety books, but I'm talking about it on one specific topic, something like that. But I also have the inclination to want to make casual videos where I simply turn on the camera, I chat about something. I will still have talking points, but I talk about a subject hit those talking points, press stop, and then I just publish that. Those are two types of videos that I would hope I can improve on doing, and I can actually want to share those with the public, not like this channel where nobody is watching. And that feels good too. So yeah, number 4 is that vocal skills and that presentation skills improvement, which I think I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I'm better at speaking. I have a little less ums and ahs, and I still need to work on that. I'm getting better, but it's nowhere near the level I'm hoping to attain. And also the speed. I still sound so slow in all my videos, and to try and slowly start speeding up, but at the same time with my speeding up, not to start stumbling and stuff like that. And it's speeding up, but with pauses that are engaging to the viewer, because just a quick blur, just a super stream, fast stream is as boring as a slow monotone. A monotone going super fast or a monotone going super slow, both of them are fucking boring and painful to watch. I'm trying to make myself less painful to watch, I guess is what I'm getting at there. So yes, those ones are obviously, they're having content to deliver is important to improving my vocal skills and my presentation skills. Number 5 is reading, and this is giving myself time to get lost in a good book. And perhaps that should be a goal of one afternoon or one morning on the weekend. I sit and I read for an hour or two. That's actually a very good goal. A reasonable goal once a week, having one of those once a week long read. Once a week, a long read is actually, I think, is an achievable goal there. I'm not going to be reading for hours and hours each day. I'm probably not, I don't have the chops for it, and I probably just don't have the time for it. But doing it once a week would be nice. And I know how that it would be a really good thing for a weekend where I'm supposed to be recharging to going back to work on Tuesday. And I often get to the end of the weekend and I feel more exhausted than I did at the beginning of the weekend, which is really dispiriting. So that would be a part of that. The other part is sleep and stuff like that, which I guess comes under the physical stuff again. But that's these are the overview stuff. I'm adding sleep to physical as I'm talking to you. So yeah. Number 6 is professional, where I'm quite happy with work in general. I think I need to be more aware of my coworkers and try and be supportive with them. Try not to be a rigid asshole, which I think I've gotten much better at. That's in interactions with my fellow my coworkers and with the residents. Of, you know what, let them be them. And how much does this affect you if you're not like fixated on doing stuff? It's actually, strangely enough, it makes work much more pleasant for myself and probably for the people around me, and I do a better job. So wow, be relaxed, and you can do a better job that way. That's quite amazing. I don't mean relaxed in lesser standards, but just like, okay, this person wants to do this. You just sort of, you let them. You don't invest yourself in this. This isn't a challenge to your authority. That's not how it works. You don't get into weird power struggles with people. That sort of thing is something that I'd like to be, I continue to be mindful about, but also just, it's always good to remind myself of that. And that's a deepening in my professional attitude as a 50-year-old. I don't want to ossify into some old guy who's got real set ideas of how things go and won't allow anyone else to tell him what to do. It's just like, I see those kind of people, often males, and it's painful to watch. It is painful to watch. Uh, the second one is, which is always a struggle for me, is be on time to work. I think I'm at the moment now where I'm like just on time, but I'm just on time in that kind of asshole. I'm arriving at exactly on time, and everyone is just leaving at a same moment. And theoretically, there should be a time for a handover. And some of my fellow coworkers, either they've lost patience with me, or they don't really care about handing over one way or the other. There's that. There's that. I may have done enough damage on that myself. I have to take responsibility for that. But I started doing a thing where it's like, oh, I'll set my timer for 2 o'clock, and that way I can pull away at 2:30, and that hasn't worked. So I'm gonna go for 1:55. Of 1:55, an alarm goes off. I put down whatever I'm doing, whatever wonderful book, whatever thing I'm editing on the computer, because I'm often doing that at the last moment, and I say, get to work. Get your shit together and get to fucking work on time. And by work on time, I mean 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes early, so that handover can happen. Part of that is like, oh, I gotta go to work, but it's like, look, you're an adult. 5 minutes before, it makes things much more pleasant. That would be good. I probably also need to get better at chatting with people as I come in. I don't chat with people as I come in. I'm much more happy when I'm there and they arrive. I will chat like the overnight staff. I have a great relationship with. I was thinking about this last night. The fellow who came in is usually a day guy. He's a new assistant manager, and we just chatted for 5 minutes. He was probably like, "When are you fucking leaving, dude? I want to get to work." But it was a genuine, like, oh, it's probably the longest conversation I've had with him, because it's like, okay, it's the end of my day. And I was quite happy to chat with him there. That was good. That was good building relationships with a coworker, especially in this sense, since it's a assistant manager, so it's going to be somebody who's has a certain amount of authority over me. So you want to have build a good relationship. So yes, 5 minutes early, and maybe use that 5 minutes to say, hey, how's it going? How are you doing? That sort of stuff. Build that kind of relationship with, especially people. I think I have good relationships with the people who I work with on shifts. I'm going to probably get tested with new people coming in. So that is always a good, that's probably one of the areas where I'll need to work on being relaxed and open and friendly, and not get into some kind of, not be all pissy about shit. So there's that. Yeah, and I still do get pissy about stuff like that. So yeah, there's that. And then finally in the deepening, I just by the accident of how I have structured this, it's financial. This is the world we live in. Cost of living has gone way up. Our food budget has gone way up. Our energy bills are going to go up, up. It's like, and my paycheck has not gone up. I'm still actually waiting for our contract to fucking get goddamn negotiated, and us to get back pay for, I think, almost, it's like been so goddamn long since it's actually, we've been out of contract. It's crazy at this point. So we're at, and even if I do get back pay, it's not like I'm going to get paid that much more. But it's looking for ways of living cheaper, and making my shrinking dollar stretch. I think this is going to be food budget. So I guess the big things is going to be food. And this is the thing, I'm going to have to look into this food, entertainment, clothes, physio. Physio is one of them. I'm going to go to. I've been going to Joel monthly, and I'm gonna try going bi-monthly. I think that's probably gonna be unavoidable. That's like 100 something bucks that I spend each month. I need to make that probably every other month going forward in this year, and see how that goes. If my back starts really fucking up, That's not great. That directly impacts how I make a living. I think if I work on I think if I continue working with my exercises and all that, hopefully I'll be able to get through. That'll be okay. So, but I also just need to do research because I'm not somebody. I've gotten, as you as you get older, I think you spend less money, but we need to figure out ways to spend a lot less. Like we need to find, you know, you know, a good hunk of money that we can save because we're just not catching up, and that's not good. I do not want to get into another one of these situations of serious debt. I mean, we're very fortunate. We're very fortunate in our lives, but yeah, we need to figure out how to live within what I'm bringing in, and you know, that you gotta be smart. So yeah, that's not the fun. That's not the funnest thing to end off on the deepening, but that's where I've got so far. All right. Good Lord, this has been going on. Oh, we're at 20 minutes already, 21 minutes already. I think I can wrap up perspective pretty quickly. Perspective was actually inspired by a video I just saw recently of someone talking about their life and what their struggles are and how they're kind of adjust to them going forward. And I won't go into the person. Jessie Gender is her name and is an amazing YouTube creator. But listening to her challenges made me think about how it's good to have perspective of exactly how how my life is so much easier. Also, just like all the forces outside of myself that are operating at the same time. um it's like all the stuff that I've just talked about is all very much self. So I think perspective is a way for me to go, okay, this is me focusing on myself, self. I should balance this out with, let's look at the outside world. um let's look at what's going on around me, and saying at least some of my energy, actually, if I put it outward, is actually a way of probably um, taking the pressure off myself in a way. Making things easier on myself by hopefully doing something decent for other people. And this is really the developing thing, but uh, this is kind of this yin and yang of very well aware that the self improvement thing can be a very selfish thing. It can be a very individualistic thing. Whereas my worldview, I'm very. I mean, what I said at the top, it's like I can make a lot of individual decisions, but there's a lot of stuff happening outside of me that I don't have control of, and that I shouldn't necessarily. If you're aware of the outside forces, you can also you're not going to beat yourself up as much because you realize, okay, I'm in this situation, like financial shit. I have less and less money. It seems I was okay a couple of years ago, but now suddenly I'm struggling. It's like, and one way to say that is like, oh, I'm bad. I've done I shouldn't be smarter. Bash myself, which I'm very good at. Or it's to say, okay, yeah, you need to make some adjustments to that, but you also have to just kind of go with, and that's what's happening to everyone in this world, and these are the reasons why. And it also helps you say, like, okay, if I'm going to make adjustments, don't just focus on myself, but hey, what's going on around me, and be aware of that, so that you can kind of you can adjust, but you're also not just so self-focused that you don't become a selfish asshole, I guess is what I'm saying. And so this is really new for me. This, I mean, as I said, I was watching this video literally like yesterday, and I went, oh, yeah, it's all being all about myself is not a great thing from a moral, philosophical, kind of ideological level, I guess. So what can I do to get out of myself? Um, and at the moment, it's a pathetic list. I'll put it right there now. This is why this section is so short. It's a pathetic list. I've got down here is one, read one nonfiction book every 2 months on a topic that isn't about me to make me more aware of the wider world around me. Um, and within this, I also do I follow the news to varying degrees, and that might also be in there. I might that might also be reading articles about the wider world, what's going on. That might also kind of count there if I'm doing this from a tracking point of view. You want to make this stuff concrete, but that idea of education, of what's going on, how are other people doing, what are the forces at play, that sort of thing. Give yourself that kind of a structure, understanding that you're in the middle of it at the moment. So that's kind of hard to get that perspective until much later. I mean, sometimes that's why reading history books is interesting, because it's like, oh, this situation seems similar to what happened like 100 years ago. And 100 years ago, we have got a much wider and much more kind of larger perspective, and a much more, we know everything about, well, we don't know everything about that time, but a lot of the chuff has been sifted away. And what results is a clearer view. And number two is, we'll see how this goes, because this is also a matter of energy, and maybe this might be an incredibly small thing, but it's one good thing. That is all I have there. It just says one good thing. And that is the idea of finding one good thing outside of myself that I could do for somebody else, something else in the world, in the year going forward. And yeah, and that isn't to glorify myself. That's just to say, okay, what's one good thing I could do um, going forward this year for, somebody else. It's like I'm talking about all the stuff I want to do for myself this year. Even like, stuff in relation to Ja. It's like, well, that's because it's our relationship. That's going to benefit me directly. What is something that I can do? What's one good thing I can do that isn't going to benefit me, that is for somebody else? Somebody else that probably isn't Ja, because anything I did for Ja is coming back to me. And I have no idea what that is at the moment. And obviously, I'm not going to be donating a shit ton of money anywhere, because that kind of directly conflicts with the other part of me. I don't know how much time I would have for that kind of thing. So it's going to be pretty humble. It's going to be maybe insignificant at this level. But I want to make a start on something like that. Just a start of what's one good thing, and to kind of keep my mind open to that idea of like, what's one good thing that I could do? Because I am not donating like another one of my weekends, like a whole weekend, like a whole Saturday, every Saturday for the next year, to help somebody. Cause it's like, it's like, no, not Saturday, especially since I work on Saturday, but Sunday or Monday. It's like those 2 days of the weekend, I know I'm going to need to just get myself through. But yeah, one good thing. And I'm serious. It could be so small that anyone else would go, yeah, well, big deal. But it would be a little start there. And it would be just a way of me kind of going, it's not about you. It's not about you, Jay. It's just, it's something to start the little pebble, starting hopefully at the top of a mountain, and building it from there, and building that muscle, because I'm not somebody who's been that kind of a person of of helping others that way. I mean, I'm in the helping profession, but I get paid for that. And that's, I mean, I find that really fulfilling. But I do get paid for it. I consider it a professional thing to be doing. You know, if I wasn't getting paid for it, I would have to find something else to do. So it's not, it doesn't really count towards this one good thing. But that's my thought. So yeah, yeah. All right. So I'm gonna stop there because it's goddamn lunchtime. And I'm those are my themes for the year: deepening and perspective. All right. I will be kind of incorporating this into February goals. I'll be kind of trying to get things more and more get more and more kind of concrete little steps throughout for all these things that I can do throughout the month of January. That's the plan. Yeah. All right. I have been Jay. Oh, more goals videos later. More goals videos later.